The Ben Franklin validation is a variation on his historic and well-known decision-making process. At times, this process is referred to as the money in, money out close. Regardless of the name, the idea is the same, and the impact is amazing. Learn this program, and it will show in dollars and cents how the merchant will not only pay for the services, but profit for its application. Now, here's how it goes. Now, regardless of how much you think this program will work for you and how much you believe this is the right thing to do, if it doesn't work out in dollars and cents, you simply won't do it. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, that's a fair statement.
You will always get a yes from this question. Great. Now, it's actually easier than you think to estimate how much of an impact EPS 90 will have on your business. Do you remember Ben Franklin?
Who doesn't?
Again, an obvious yes answer. Well, old Ben was one of our wisest Americans, and when Ben had a difficult decision to make, he would take a sheet of paper, draw a line down the middle, and start to write. He'd put the pros on the left of the line and the cons on the right. By the time he got to the bottom of the page, he knew what the right decision was, and he made it. It was obvious. Well, we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to substitute numbers for thoughts. Now, by the time we get to the bottom of the page, your decision will be an obvious one as well. So, let's start talking about our pros. EPS 90 is an exciting product, and I'm sure you know exactly what customers this will work for. Out of every 100 customers that you work with in a month, you know the customers that don't have the money right now or don't have the limits available on their credit cards. Now, how many of them do you think might benefit from no credit check guaranteed financing?
Gosh, I'd say about 10%.
Okay, well, that would be no less than one sale per week.
Or more.
Okay, well, more sales would mean more profit, of course. But let's use this conservative number. Now, use whatever percentage they give you, but note, if they say less than 10%, you have probably not convinced them of the benefits quite enough and may want to go back and work on that aspect of your presentation before proceeding on. Now, let's draw that line down the middle of the page and start putting in numbers. For this example, we will assume the merchant said only 10%. Okay, we'll start with the 10 you mentioned, and I'll write that down on the left as a pro. Now, the next number we need is your average size sale. What amount do you consider to be your average sale?
I'd say close to $1,500.
Okay, great. Let's also put that on the left. So, in new sales, ones that you would not have had without offering the financing program, we would multiply the additional sales by the average, and you would end up with an additional $15,000 in sales volume. Is that correct?
Yeah, that looks right.
Now, as much as we would like it to be, not all of that money is yours to keep. There are labor and material costs to consider. Most businesses work on a minimum gross profit of at least 25%. Do you consider yourself to be average?
Yeah, we're probably right in there.
Now, keep in mind, we are talking about gross numbers and not the net after you deduct everything, including owner's income and profit. If you adjusted the average category, you would net somewhere in the area of $3,750 for the month, more if you have a better margin. Let's write down that $3,750 on the left as well.
Okay.
Now, we aren't done yet. We do say this is a 90-day, no credit check, in-house financing program, but we didn't say it's free. Most of our merchants are charging somewhere in the area of 10% as a carrying charge to the customers. Most customers are happy to pay the fee because they really want the goods or services offered and they want them right now. In this case, that would mean we need to put an additional $1,500 under the $3,750 for a total of $5,250 in the month.
Got it.
Okay, let's go ahead and circle that one. That's a real pro in my book. Now, for every gain, there's always a cost. Actually, in this case, we prefer to call it an investment. Cost is something that you don't always get back, but you expect a return from your investments. In this case, for your business, that would be the $5,250 we just figured out and circled above. All right, let's look at the investment. It's broken down into several categories. There is the specialized bank equipment that uses state-of-the-art encryption technology to protect you and your customer that's required to handle the transactions. There are the fees to the processor for moving the money and guaranteeing your payments, and there are a few small administrative expenses.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about the processing equipment first. We have negotiated on your behalf with the equipment and leasing vendors, and we can offer you an awesome product bundle that can accommodate all of your needs at a very friendly and affordable price. This combination includes the latest in transactional processing terminals and the high-quality imager required to process guaranteed checks. Now, all of this is available for only $99.90 per month. No down payment is required, and it only takes the first and last up front to get started. Let's write that $99.90 on the right of the line, just across from the $15,000 in additional sales.
Okay.
Secondarily, as you might imagine, there is a cost for processing and guaranteeing all of that money. You've probably heard of anywhere from 10 to 15% for this kind of service, but the bundled package gives you the preferred 7.5% rate. Now, that comes to an investment of $1,125. Let's put that across from the $1,500 you are passing on to the customers as a carrying charge and draw a line between the two.
Okay.
Now, there's a direct relationship between these two numbers, and we should view them together.
Okay.
Now, finally, the administrative costs are pretty straightforward. You will have 25 cents per transaction to cover all the telephone switching charges, or in this example, $2.50. An EPS 90 needs to track and follow the transactions through the system, so there is an administrative charge of $10 per month for that. Now, let's put those numbers down on the right side of the line as well. Okay. Now, when we add up all of this, we get $1,237.40. Okay, so let's circle that one as well. That's the deal. Let's see how this all shakes out. Now, if we take the net profit from the new sales of $5,250 that we circled above and write it down near the bottom of the page, in the middle, then put the investments of $1,237.40 below it, we have a net profit of $4,012.60. Or about $48,000 a year for you to decide what to do with. So tell me, what does it really cost you to offer the EPS 90 no credit check in-house financing product in your business?
It's the $99.90, right?
No.
The $500?
Nope.
I give up.
Now, wait until they answer and tell them no each time they tell you the wrong answer. Once they say, "What then?" or "I give up," it's time to put that last nail in the coffin. It costs you over $4,000 every month you don't offer the program. Now, can you afford that loss?